You already wondered why, even surrounded by chaos, you are still standing, as if an invisible force was protecting you. This is no coincidence, and you know that. You are not here by chance. Something much bigger brought you to this video. Something that wants to remind you of who you really are. The signs are everywhere, and in this video you will understand why not even the most powerful demon can touch you. I will reveal you spiritual truths that will chill your soul and confirm what you already feel at the bottom of your chest. You were chosen. But before continuing, if this theme has done something inside you vibrate, leave your like now, because it helps us spread this message of light to more people. Subscribe to the channel and activates the bell, because here you will find answers that the spirit world does not want you to find out. And at the end of the video, comments below 22. This will show that you are part of those who have awakened and are ready to fulfill the purpose. Now take a deep breath, because what you will hear next can change everything. Imagine such immense power that even the darkest entities hesitate to approach. This is the silent fear that echoes in the depths of darkness when the eyes of evil turn to the chosen ones. It is no exaggeration. It is a spiritual reality ignored by many. Demons, however crucible and cruel, recognize the presence of those who carry a divine seal in their soul. And in the face of this presence, they do not advance. Not because they don't want to, but because they just can't. It is as if an invisible barrier prevented them. A wall made not of stone but of purity and eternal purpose. Most people live fearing evil, praying so that darkness does not touch its doors. But the chosen ones walk along trails where evil already knows they can't live. There is a reason why some cross storms without even wetting their feet. It's not luck. It is sealed destination. It is ancestral protection. Demons feel, with a frightening sensitivity, the brightness of those who cannot be corrupted. And this glow, the blind. Each step of the chosen on earth reverberates in invisible planes like thunder, a presence that denounces, exposes, and disarms. They may try to attack many, but they never approach those who have a divine mission marked in heaven. This is not superstition, it is a cosmic reality. The fear they feel is not just the light but what it represents, the complete ruin of their plans. For evil, the chosen ones are like walking puzzles, codified systems that they cannot decipher. And in this confusion they retreat, hesitate, and finally disappear, because they know that trying to play the untouchable is how to sign your own sentence. There are worlds that we do not see, dimensions that operate in tracks that our eyes do not reach, and it is in this plane that the true spiritual war happens. The chosen ones not only live on this earth, they vibrate at such a high frequency that they are not even perceived by the forces of darkness. It's like trying to capture a heavenly radio station with a worldly receiver. It just doesn't work. This frequency cannot be replicated as it has been shaped ahead of time, configured in the womb of the universe with purpose and clarity. Demons and negative entities operate in a field of low vibration. They feed on fear, despair, human insecurities. But when they come across a soul that vibrates above these emotions, they are lost. It's like trying to play a hologram. The form is there, but there is no matter that can be closed. The chosen one lives, speaks, feels, and thinks differently. Your thoughts are armor. Your faith is radar. Your heart is armor. It is impossible to penetrate a field that operates at a level that darkness do not even understand. And when do they try? They are repelled even before trying to play. It is as if the reality itself around the chosen one was distorted, creating a spiritual vacuum that prevents any invasion. This frequency difference not only protects them, it confuses them. Demons not only stop attacking, they get lost. For the spiritual map they know does not have the address of the chosen ones. There is no way to you, because you are not only out of reach, you are out of the logic of darkness. Long before you give the first sigh in this world, something had already been written. A heavenly signature made with ink that time does not go out sealed his destination. This contract is more than symbolic. It is the invisible structure that sustains your every step. No obscure force, however powerful you can imagine, has permission to change it. And that's why so many attacks fail before they even start. The battle was already overcome by the time the contract was signed. The chosen do not live at random. Each challenge, every pain, each overcoming is part of a route drawn with divine perfection. And the enemies of the spirit know that. They do not fight against you. They fight a decree that has already been proclaimed. Trying to divert someone who was designated by a superior will is like trying to push a mountain with a breath, and yet they try. But with each frustrated attempt, its position in the divine plane is further strengthened, because the contract not only protects, it evolves, adapts, expands. This protection does not manifest itself only as a barrier, but as a driving force. Everything evil tries to use to stop you, it becomes fuel to raise you. Your falls have become leverages. Your tears, rivers of power. They do not understand that. They think the pain will break you, when in fact it shapes you to something bigger. And each line of this contract is reinforced by heavenly battalions that guarantee no force, visible or invisible, has the power to invalidate what has already been signed in heaven. Nothing terrifies darkness more than consciousness awakens. The true power of a chosen one begins when he realizes the game being played. Evil forces thrive in ignorance. Non-heard whispers lies accepted without question. But when the mind opens and the spirit sees beyond the veil, the game ends. The illusion breaks like fine glass, and everything that was left of demonic control crumbles into the light of truth. You do not need to fight directly. Just see. Just understand. Just recognize the tricks, the patterns, the traps. Spiritual consciousness acts like a lamp lit in a dark room. Insects flee, monsters disappear. They cannot stand the light of perception. Each time you identify emotional manipulation, camouflage temptation, or planted thought, you disarm the enemy without even lifting your voice. The power of conscience is a silent and devastating weapon. And that's why your conscience is such a disputed battlefield. They don't want to attack you physically. They want to keep you unconscious, passive, blind. Because you know that the moment you see the truth, you become unattainable. It is not the sword that drives them away. It is the firm look of those who are no longer mistaken. Their terror is knowing that you woke up. And once awake, you never go back to sleep. Since the beginning of time, there is a hidden truth of the ordinary eyes. Evil never had a chance. Spiritual war waged in invisible dimensions is not a balanced dispute. It is not a chess match where both sides have equal chances. For the chosen ones, the victory was declared even before the first provocation. Every attempt of darkness is just an illusion of resistance, an echo distant from a conflict that has already ended. You feel it. Even in difficult days, even when everything seems to crumble, there is an inexplicable certainty that pulsates inside you, something that whispers, "This will also pass and you will be stronger." This whisper is the voice of an eternal victory that has already been guaranteed. Evil attacks are not battles. They are protests of those who have already lost. And each time they try, every time they get up against you, they just reaffirm that you are untouchable, unreachable, and incomprehensible to them. Demons are like shadows trying to erase the sun. They make noise, cause winds, but cannot prevent dawn. And you, with your path illuminated by a superior purpose, is the dawn itself that announces the end of darkness. The war was already lost to them. And you? It was already destined to win. From the beginning. Always. There is a force that is not explained with words but feels in the air. It is the spiritual authority that the chosen ones carry. It is not something that imposes itself with external screams or demonstrations. It is silent, but overwhelming. The simple presence of a chosen destabilizes environments where evil hides. Demons not only realize this authority, they fear it, because it comes from a source that transcends them, condemning them, which exiles them. When a chosen one enters a place, darkness know that the game is over before it even started. This authority is not built with titles or academic knowledge. It comes from direct connection with something much larger than this world. It is the spiritual heritage of those who have been separated with purpose. You do not need to lift your voice or make it. Your energy already announces your arrival. And the demons, who like to feed on fear and chaos so much, simply disintegrate in the face of this vibration. It is as if an invisible hand away, recognizing that there is no room for their devices. You are not only protected, you are a walking sacred territory, a living border between the visible world and the invisible. And where you step, the darkness retreats, not by choice, but by obligation. Because the authority you carry is not human, it is not natural, it is divine. And against that, no evil force can stand up. Fear is the most effective tool of the enemy. It paralyzes, distorts reality, creates invisible walls within the mind. But there is something that demons did not count. The chosen ones operate in a structure where fear does not reign. There is an invisible firewall around them, a spiritual barrier fed by faith, purpose, and conviction. When evil tries to access your mind with thoughts of doubt and insecurity, this firewall detects and neutralizes the threat before it takes shape. You may even feel the impact of difficult situations, but unlike the majority, you do not surrender to despair. It's like being in the eye of the hurricane and still keeping calm. This serenity is not absence of pain, but presence of protection. The spiritual firewall that surrounds you not only blocks external attacks, it also transforms these investments into learning and strengthening. What was to destroy you turns stairs to rise you, and the demons know that, so they retreat. Therefore, they redirect their attacks on more vulnerable targets because you don't react with fear, you respond with faith. Each attempt at intimidation fails miserably, and they realize with increasing frustration that nothing penetrates this barrier made of light and purpose. Divine firewall is not just a protection, it is a statement of war against everything that feeds on fear. Darkness work with standards. They study behaviors, reactions, habits. They are masters in identifying emotional triggers and exploring weaknesses. But when they come across a chosen one, the system collapses. Because you do not react as expected. While others succumb to fear, you keep calm. While many fall into emotional traps, you choose the silence. It disarms them. It confuses them. It's like trying to overthrow a house built on solid rock. The winds blow, the waves beat, but nothing moves. His impartiality in the face of the temptations and pressures of the spirit world creates an even more powerful barrier than any prayer. Demons expect emotional answers. They want to see you act on the impulse. But when they realize that their tactics have no effect, they begin to doubt their own methods. You, simply by not fitting expectations, becomes invisible to them. And this invisibility is not passivity. It is wisdom. It is self-mastery high at the spiritual level. It is walking in the midst of war without carrying a gun, because its own stability is enough to overcome battles. His impartiality is a dense fog that disorients enemies. They get lost trying to decipher you, and in this process they lose control of the battlefield. Meanwhile, you move on, unshakable. Make no mistake, there are conversations happening in plans you can't see, and your name is being quoted, but not as an easy target. Its name echoes in the hidden dimensions as a warning sign, a warning to those who inhabit the darkness. You are not just known, you are feared. There is a spiritual recognition that transcends human logic. His name was recorded in sacred lists, recorded in heavenly records as someone who cannot be touched impunity. Demons have spiritual meetings to discuss their movements. They evaluate risk, calculate losses, pondered if it is even worth approaching, because they know that touching you is triggering cosmic alarms. The consequences are immediate. They don't just face you, they face a whole protection structure that operates in your favor. And that's why they often give up before trying. It is not cowardice, it is survival. You are like a fortress with spiritual strength fields, and around you the space vibrates with invisible warnings. Don't approach. Demons feel this. They know that moving a chosen one is not just risky, it is spiritual suicide. And so, even in silence, his name echoes like thunder where darkness dwells. It is the sound that says, "This is untouchable." The darkness only reigns where the light hides. But when a chosen one comes in, reality changes. You don't have to talk or point. Its simple presence already illuminates what was hidden. Demons are not just their protection. They fear the truth you carry. Your light exposes the games, the tricks, the lies. It tears the veil of illusion and shows what is really behind the spiritual world curtains. Darkness do not survive under spotlight. They need ignorance, silence, distraction. But you are the disturbance that cannot be ignored. Its light reveals, bothers, breaks patterns. And when this happens, the empire of fear begins to crumble. No matter how well architected is illusion, a spark of your light is sufficient to destabilize the entire system. You are lighthouse in the fog, and that, by itself, is a threat to the kingdoms of darkness. Because where there is clarity, there is no manipulation. Where there is light, there is no mastery of darkness. Your life, your choices, Your posture are like mirrors that show the true face of evil. And so you are not just avoided, you are feared. Because their light reveals what they try to hide desperately. You don't have to raise your voice, brave symbols, or make theatrical demonstrations to be feared. Its existence by itself is already a deafening cry in the spirit world. The kind of scream that does not hear with the ears, but echoes in the invisible corridors where the chaos agents inhabit. Every step is a reminder that they have not won, they will not win, and will never have power over you. Its simple presence in an environment is like a siren that announces, "Here, light has come." And with this arrival, everything that hid in the shadows is obliged to withdraw, because the space that light occupies is a space where evil cannot remain. They watch you at a distance, disconcerted. They try to understand how serene someone carries such overwhelming strength. But what they do not understand is that this force does not come from external gestures. It comes from the interior, from its essence aligned with a greater purpose. You are a living reminder that divine authority still pulsates on earth. While many live in prisoners in cycles of oppression and fear, you walk free, because it doesn't hold on to what your eyes see. His bond is with what is above, and this bond transforms his silence into a decree, his presence into a sword, his look into sentence. You don't have to say anything. The spirit world understands everything, and that's why you disturb, because you not only break standards, you represent a new cycle, a cycle in which evil does not dictate the rules, where fear has no dominion, where darkness are already being defeated. Your life is a protest against everything that is dark, dishonest, and corrupted, a silent protest but as powerful as 1,000 thunders, and they know that. So they retreat, so they avoid you, because before you, their farce falls apart, and the truth imposes itself without having to scream. While many believe they are alone in the battles of life, you carry a hidden truth that transforms everything. You have never taken a step without supernatural forces being by your side. There is an invisible escort, an elite spiritual army that accompanies you in silence. They not only watch, they act. They move barriers, close doors that would deflect you, open impossible ways, divert attacks that never came to you. They are attentive, positioned at strategic points of their destination, as heavenly sentries that ensure that nothing escapes the plan that has been traced to your life. This reinforcement is not random. He was designated with millimeter accuracy to ensure that his mission is fulfilled until the end. No matter how much the enemy prepares, how much the traps are disguised, God's plan for its existence has spiritual agents who know each movement, every risk, every approaching shadow, and when evil tries to hit you, it is these invisible guardians who put themselves ahead, which intercepted the threat, rewriting the outcome in real time. You may not even see them, but you feel in peace that remains even in the midst of chaos, in the strength that arises even when everything seems lost, in the deliverance that comes without logical explanation. This is your reality, a guided walk, protected, supported by forces that operate beyond time, beyond space, beyond matter. You not only survive because it is strong, you flourish because you are being carried by arms that never fail. And this is what most terrifies darkness. Because as much as they try, they will never be able to play someone who has the whole sky around you. You are a heavenly mission in human form, and the reinforcement that walks with you is proof that your journey was validated by the throne of the Most High. When a chosen one decides to get up, the entire universe responds. Nothing is random. Nothing happens by chance. Each synchronicity, each reunion, each obstacle removed or open door is part of a cosmic alignment that conspires to its advantage, and that goes far beyond luck. It is a dynamic, intelligent, spiritual force field that reconfigures routes, repositioning people, and transforms scenarios to ensure that you get where you need to be. The world may seem chaotic on the outside, but behind the scenes, there is a meticulously adjusted script to drive you with absolute accuracy. This is why even falls become impulses, even delays are revealed. The universe is not against you. On the contrary, it is working quietly to always put you on the line of purpose. And the most impressive, even the forces of evil, unintentionally, end up serving the larger plane. What was to hurt you strengthens you. What was to push you away pushes you closer to your essence. Everything cooperates. Everything fits. It all flows for the good of those who were chosen. And it is this unbeatable flow that makes you impossible to stop. The demons hate this, because they realize, albeit late, that no matter how much they try to intervene, you always fall standing, always get stronger, always finds a way where there was no way. Because it's not just you walking, it's the whole universe bending to take you forward. This consciousness transforms you. It makes you stop resisting and start trusting. Because deep down you know, the journey may be long, but the end has already been written, and it is an end of glory. There is something about you that bothers you. It's not what you say. It's not what you do. This is what you represent. You are the constant reminder that light always finds a way. Even in the darkest moments of humanity, there has always been someone who refused to give in, who kept the flame on. You are that someone. A living resistance point against everything that evil tries to normalize. And no matter how much they try to silence you, tire you, weaken you, your presence is already a complaint, a shield that challenges the logic of darkness. While many are dragged by cycles of discouragement and conformism, you insist on getting up, and this insistence is painful for the spiritual world of shadows, because every victory of yours is a direct defeat to them. You are not just protected, you are offensive. Each time you refuse to hate, judge, retaliate, you expel them a little more from reality. Your life is an affront to the invisible system that feeds fear and division. And they know that. They know that as long as you breathe, there will be a space where the light still reigns. You are a living witness that evil is not absolute. That pain is not the end. That hope did not die. And so you are so precious in the spirit world. You are proof, painful, uncomfortable, undeniable, that darkness will never completely dominate. Because as long as there is one as you, the whole empire of them remains vulnerable. You are not just an exception. You are the guarantee that the light still has a voice. And that is enough to collapse centuries of lies. The biggest protection someone may have is not out, but inside. The chosen ones are not untouchable because they are lucky, cosmic draws, or random favors. They are untouchable because they carry within themselves the reflection of heaven itself. There is a miniature universe throbbing inside, such a dense, pure core of light that no harm can cross. The body is ground, but the spirit is heavenly. And when this conscience awakens, the chosen one understands that he does not have to run, escape, hide. It just remains. Because the strength is in it. You do not beg for protection. You emanate it. Its vibration is so strong that it acts as an automatic containment field. Before the evil tries, it has already been overcome. Before the trap is armed, it is already deactivated. You live under the radar of something much bigger. And when someone decides to touch you, they are not just touching a body but in a promise. And promises made in the sky cannot be broken by earthly hands or spiritual claws. Touching you is provoking a chain reaction that demons know very well. Punishment, exile, destruction. You are untouchable not because you are surrounded, but because it is filled, full of purpose, full of divine presence, full of mission, and this fullness makes you an inexhaustible fortress. You don't have to protect yourself. You have already been protected even before you are born, because whoever carries the sky inside fears no shadow from the outside.